Hey people, it's been a whole new week of school year. It's been a whole new week for me at a new program that I joined at my school, which is International Baccalaureate. It's IB. And now I thought to myself, why not start a new series of videos where I just do weekly recaps of, weekly track of progress that they do on Sundays. Because in the past, I used to make a lot of videos about, general self-improvement, talking about concepts, and I wouldn't feel like myself because I would often fail doing those things. I would often fail doing the concepts that I would, tell others that this is the best way to do something. But right now, I want to change that because I feel like this whole new week has been like a slap in the face, and I mean this in a great way. Because when the school started, I met a lot of new people. I got into a new program, and this actually led me to reprogram my mind into, this is a blank sheet of paper, a blank new slate of life, and I'm going to change something about me. I'm going to improve, and I think that I'm on a great track. I feel that I am on a good track right now, and that's why I'm making this video today, to review my progress. And without further ado, so a few things that I'm happy about this week is that, first one, the new program really showed me the flaws at my other program at school and actually made me feel more interesting in learning. Because the IB program, a lot of people on social media talk that it's super hard, it's completely challenging, it's unnecessary, but they actually saw how new teachers look at you, and they look at you as people who are here to learn, who are here to create something, and not just memorize stuff, not just learn things. And this actually was the first time when I was eager, to Google something, to learn something new. And that's why I wanted to share one thing that I just started doing at new IB program, which is, let's take for example, I took math HL, I took economics HL, English HL, and then geography ESS and Lithuanian language. So let's take for example economics. So there was some homework, some text to read, and one thing I started doing, because I took the IB program, and I think one thing that I'm doing right now which actually helps me to learn a lot is, every time when I don't know a concept, I write it down, and then I work with ChatGPT. So what I do is, for example, there was a name mentioned, a philosopher mentioned, an economist mentioned, and I didn't know that. So I wrote it down, I took ChatGPT, and I found biography, some interesting facts, and what I started doing, which is really interesting, and I think it's a really good way to memorize things, to make connections, and it will be very beneficial in the future when I have to write essays, when I have to write texts to make connections, is one thing. So let's say today I learned about how the economics started, how, the whole capitalism started. And instead of just memorizing the text that was given, but I, for example, found interesting things. So it was money, it was about gold, it was about different kind of trades, different kind of firms, organizations. And then with ChatGPT, I tried to learn all of the things that, first of all, I don't understand and are not clear to me. And second of all, I tried to find some connections and some examples. So for example, with some cases in where, I don't know how to say, so let me check what I wrote. Yeah, so for example, there was a text about Greek philosophers, and I know that there was one philosopher, Plato. And Plato spoke about this ideal economy, about, how everything would be perfect if some people did not have private property, like kings and warriors, so the top tier of people. And this got me the idea that it looks similar to communism. So, this was one connection that my mind made, and then I went into ChatGPT, and I just kept making different kind of prompts to, really understand the thing, why Plato and communism might seem similar, but it's completely different, and I wrote it down. And, I marked it that this is an example of, some interesting things that you can learn to then tell to other people to seem more knowledgeable. Because Another thing that I used to feel at school is that, I don't have enough to say, or I don't have enough ideas to express to other people. So I think this is a really good step that I'm doing. So with everything, with every subject, you don't know something, you go to ChatGPT, you go to Google, you write it down, especially on paper, you make connections, and if you find something interesting, you don't just leave it and you find it, you memorize it, or you research it, and then your mind makes connection. What I can see next. My week has been great with sports. Also, every single day I have been consistent with weights, so this is what I'm proud of. I'm also, I think I really got and made a good progress with, dopamine detox, because I had successfully lowered my Instagram, scrolling, YouTube watching to now not more than 1 hour, not more than 20-30 minutes some days, when it used to be 2 to 3 hours. And how I did that was by using the built-in function in your phone, which is timers. And after 20 minutes, the notification comes that I have to close the screen, and in order to bypass it, I have to click a few buttons and to keep scrolling. But every single time when this notification comes to me, after 20 minutes, let's say, and I instantly get this notification in my mind that I said that I had to stop scrolling. And sometimes there is that you still scroll after 20-40 minutes, but after the notification comes for the third time, it's impossible to not stop scrolling, because it literally gets programmed in your mind that you say to yourself, it's bad to scroll, you put a timer, and every time the notification comes, your mind just instantly says to yourself that you have to stop. So this was a really good way that how I'm, fighting procrastination, as to say. But I feel that with the school starting, with this new routine, which I really needed, because during the summer I did not have a routine completely, and this actually led to me to overthinking, to too much anxiety, not pressing the record button, not creating videos. And I think that to some extent I still have to think more about what's my direction, because one of the main problems probably right now for me is to understand where I'm going. Because I chose math and economics because I had to quickly think of something, and what I thought was, let's pick finances. I have some experience with investing, with crypto, and I'm pretty good at math, so I thought, let's pick this side. But I still don't think that this is deeply my passion, because I sometimes like doing jewelry, I like to play piano, I like to create music. I even learned a guitar a week ago. But to say that I have found the exact direction that I need to pursue, or I found the desire strong enough to work every single day towards something, I can't say that yet. But what I'm doing to find that is, first of all, I'm reading and listening a lot of Brian Tracy. So Brian Tracy is probably the best motivator on earth. He has wrote a lot of books around goals, and I have one here, which is probably the best book. It's Goals, called in English. And I'm actively reading, I'm actively writing something in my notes. So every single day when I read, I write something in my notes. I started using these notes just to get the ideas faster. You have an idea, you write it down, and I think that by doing so, I document a lot more of the thoughts that I'm having, and by that then I can organize them and I can find what I'm doing wrong. So to end this video, I'm going to say a few goals for the next week, and what I'm planning to do. So first thing, what I'm planning to do is to try to explore myself more. So to do that, let's pick the side where I took economics and math as my subjects, and I thought to really get myself more into this, I have to every single day spend 30 minutes reading top 3 newspapers. So it's Wall Street Journal, it's Bloomberg, and it's Financial Times. So we have to buy some subscriptions, but it doesn't cost that much. And I have to spend every single day doing something more. Doing something more of research, doing something more of taking action. So it's one thing. The other thing is reading 1 hour of book, because there was a study made, or there was this calculation made, that if you read 1 hour a day, by the end of the year you will probably read around 50 books, 40, 50 books. And if you stay consistent for 10 years, you will read 500 books. And the average American per year reads less than 1 book. So after 10 years, you will have read 500 times more than someone average. So, I think that this really gives you the edge over something, the skill that you pick, the habit that you want to pick. And I have always thought that reading is the best thing to do, so I just have to read more. And the second thing is I have to think more about how to get into content creation, what I want to do for the money, what I want to do for the business, because everyone needs money. So this has been a thing for me that I have thought, for probably now 2 years. I kept saying that I will make a lot of videos and I will make money online. I have kept saying a lot that I will start a business, and I have an opportunity to start a business. But I keep being indecisive. So, this is a problem, that I'm indecisive. And I'm telling this because when I tell something or when I write something for myself, then my mind works to find an answer for it. So I'm probably going to really sit on this. So probably spending an hour a day every single evening, just with a blank sheet of paper, with my notebooks, and writing every single possibility that I can think of, and also writing every single bad outcome that can, get from it. So what happens when you write the worst possible outcome is that you stop worrying about something. So for example, with content creation, the worst possible outcome that I can think for myself is that every person at school will know that I create videos online, and some of them will say something funny. But as I got more consistent with good habits, as I got more consistent with believing in myself that I'm doing something good, so for example, doing sports, reading books, learning about new things, being consistent with what I put in my head, what I put in my body, so it's healthy food, the less you start to care about other people's opinions, because you start to truly be confident about yourself. And this is a really big game changer. And this would be something that I would be telling my younger self, who was more insecure than I am right now. And that's the only thing that you have to protect very, very much, is how you feel about yourself and how confident you can feel. So see you next week, probably on Sunday, and let's go.